Hi everyone, Sharon here with Max Senior Day 20. And the first thing I'm going to show you is a paper car. I thought Istvan was kidding the first time he took me to Hungary, and he said, "Oh, there's a paper car." And I said, "What do you mean a paper car?" And he said, "They're literally made out of paper. And you can't find too many of them anymore, but I really wanted to show you one." And the neighbor next door had one. So anyway, I thought that would be interesting to show you. And this is an old radio that is in the upstairs part of Cousin Aggie and Latsi's house. And we stayed in that upstairs part. And this is out on the little terrace looking down on our rental car, which we're going to take back to Vienna tomorrow, and the city of Miskolc. And then this is another view of the upstairs. And our first stop was to this castle that has a lot of history, and they've really did a lot of work to rebuild this castle. You can see parts that are, old, but oh, and these are horse chestnuts, and they are everywhere. Actually, they're everywhere all over Europe, but especially in Hungary. And this is Kazanagi and Istvan walking down towards the castle. And we're not actually on the castle grounds yet. This is just the little um, town before it. And these two trees, I put my phone through the slats so you could see better, but they are, I can't remember how many hundreds and hundreds of years old. They have preserved them and saved. Now, the trees standing there are not that old, but the roots are. So here's the castle. And I just love stuff like this. And this is a statue of the king who stayed in this castle. I guess the kings had castles all over the country, but he lived here in this castle. And I also didn't know there were so many different coats or suits of armor, but boy, there's a lot of them. So anyway, I'm I'm gonna whittle away on some of this video because I definitely took too much. And this is a photograph showing you what it looked like before they did the restoration, and then that's what it looks like now. And it's really pretty at night. They just have lights everywhere. And you could try your hand at archery if you wanted to. And so here's the guy explaining to Istvan how you shoot a bow, and he he has had thoughts of learning archery, so this was really a fun exercise for him. But I decided to go ahead without them and get started shooting footage inside the castle. And this is on my way to the inside, and this is, I don't really know what you call this area, but it's where they shot the cannons from to defend the castle from those Turks. And I think these are the original old walls. I think those windows are probably new, but and I guess I didn't realize they had cannons back in the 1400s, but they did. And so there's also lots of examples of coats of arms, and man, they even had finger guards. Everything was metal. Must not have been easy to fight with those things on. And this is the layout of the castle, the different floors. And then I heard what sounded like bagpipes, and I didn't know that Hungarians had bagpipes, but they did. They didn't call them bagpipes, but and they had this girl dancing, and so let you hear a little bit of it. Istvan said, "Don't do too much of that, though, because that sound can be irritating." I love bagpipes, though. And here she is teaching an Asian group how to folk dance. And this is an up-close shot of the actual musical instrument. So back to the castle. And you can see that part in the middle is old. And this room was where, I believe, where they brought, well, it had a bunch of stuffed game animals. And I'm not sure if this was the room where they cut up the meat. That might be further on, but they were big in archery and very good at shooting from horseback also. The Hungarians were actually noted for their riding skills, and the hussars still perform. And this was the pottery display in one of the rooms, and very much like the pottery that we saw yesterday. And those visitors really got into it. They're catching on. And as you can see to the left, the court jester has gotten into the game also. And this was the herb room. Oh, it smelled really good in there too. And this is looking through one of the doors into that room. And this is an inner well. There was an outer well and an inner well. And more dancing. And this is a little mock-up of the castle, how it looked when it was fully functional back in the 1400s, I think it was. I'm so glad I didn't live back then. Let me see, what is this? Oh yeah, this is the chapel. Very small, but very sweet. And this rock is from the original, and that wall also. I didn't go down those stairs, they were too steep. And this was like a great hall. I think this might have been where they, gathered for their meals and such. And also when the noblemen came before the king, I think it was in this room also. And so the dark parts that you see here are original, and then they just continued on those lines with the refurbishing. And then they had the clothing of the day, hanging up on the walls also. And this is looking at the great room from the other direction. And this room is directly above the chapel. I'm not sure, what the function of that was, but you could look down at the pews. And here we are looking outside, and more people had come to join in a little reenactment of some sort. And this is a heater. These that's how they heated the rooms. And I love this old loom. And more costumes of the day. And I think the ceiling in this little alcove is original also. It was really pretty. I like that. I like that type of design. And this is a bedroom. And it looked like a full-size bed to me. So obviously the Hungarians didn't believe that if you laid down, all the blood would rush to your head like they did in Amsterdam. And then on the other side of the bedroom was the bathroom, and this is it. And that's the bathtub. And this was I guess the mirrors, the type of mirrors that they had, would sure give you a wavy impression of yourself. And then they could look out the window to the courtyard. But actually, that was a door that they could go out. And as you can see, they've made some sort of a restaurant up there. And here's a sweet lyre or harp. I think they called them lyres, though. And those are the towels that was next to the bath. And here's some more original rock. And this was a saddle. Very different from our saddles today. Deer heads. Oh, this was how they made coins. And so Istvan wanted to give it a try. They had a press, but you could also do it by hand. So Istvan wanted to give it a shot.
This is Matthias Kink's golden coin. This is one, and this is with the crow in it. It's a crow.
And we never made it to the cave baths. For one thing, I can't go in the water with my knee being the way it is. So I went to the internet and I got these images. And I just want to say it is a wonderful place. This is one of my favorite rooms. It's, like a starry sky. So if you ever get to Miskolc, you've got to go to the cave baths. They are wonderful and the water is hot and it's just great. So now we're back in Miskolc at the cousin's house, cousin Yoshi and Marika, and this is the noble document. And that gray area that you see is where the mice nibbled away at the goat skin. And this thing down at the bottom it was the seal. It was made out of wax. And this is Istvan's cousin Yoshi was showing Istvan birth certificates of his grandparents and great-grandparents and their wedding certificates. So that was a real thrill to Istvan. And Marika, not only is she good at growing orchids and violets, oh my gosh, she does this beautiful, intricate beading work that is just exquisite. That was Augie trying one of them on, but I just wanted to give you, a visual image of this work, and it's all traditional stuff. And oh, this is palachinta, and boy, is it good. And Istvan's going to demonstrate how you eat it. You smear a bunch of jam on it, and then you roll it up. And it's fattening, but boy, it's delicious. And this is a photo of our wonderful Miskolc family. It was taken a few years ago, but oh God, I love these people. So that's it for day 20. And tomorrow we take the car back to Vienna and drop it off. So I'll have some video of Vienna for you. Until then, bye-bye.